Welcome to our first hearing on postal reform. The purpose of today's hearing is to give the people that rely on the United States Postal Service the opportunity to discuss how well the USPS is meeting their needs and to see how we can better identify reforms that could make the Postal Service a better, more efficient provider. When a business is struggling, even the most basic business course will teach you that you need to look to your customers to see what they want, what they need, and how you can serve them better. With the Postal Service losing $16 billion a year, there's no question that they're struggling. Over the last 2 years, postal reform has become a subject of great debate. In fact, in the last Congress, both this subcommittee and the full committee focused on issues dealing with postal reform. While last year's legislation was not ultimately signed into law, I believe we made great progress, and I look forward to working for my colleagues, especially those across the rotunda in the Senate, to find a solution that will put the USPS on the right track to fiscal solvency. The Postal Service's financial condition has only grown worse, and more mail has continued to seep from the system. While I'm a strong proponent of the benefits of the Internet, the loss of business-to-business email and electronic bill payments and other first-class mail is a real issue. The Postal Service must deal with these issues. There's still a need to deliver atoms, something tangible, in addition to the bits of data that the Internet delivers. Last year, there were 23 million fewer mail pieces each day. And how do we get revenue get additional revenue and right-size the Postal Service for customers' current needs? With mail volumes down more than 25% from its all-time peak, the Postal Service has been forced to default on the statutory payments to the Treasury and is rapidly facing shrinking liquidity that could lead to insolvency in the future. While pre-funding requirements are not the scope of this hearing, I'm certain we'll hear a lot about these issues in future hearings and as the debate on postal reform continues. Given the scope of the reforms we're talking about, mailers, a.k.a. customers, in
Hawaiian breeze. Your home is always ready for any surprise. Glade. Open up and invite life in. Automatically fill your home with a welcoming fragrance like Hawaiian breeze. SC.
If the customers are happy, whether they use the Postal Service for their business or personally, they'll keep coming back. Today, we'll hear from 6 people who represent broad portions of the mailing industry, including newspapers, advertisers, periodicals, packages, and others. In reading the testimony, I'm encouraged to see that there appears to be a consensus that implementing cost-cutting reforms has gone fairly well for many, and many, if not all, witnesses today broadly support the Postal Service's right-sizing efforts and are interested in the long-term best interest of the Postal Service and the mailing industry as a whole. In addition, just recently in the news, as I'm sure you heard today, the USPS Board of Governors announced their decision to reverse modified Saturday delivery, which would have saved $2 billion annually. Contrary to the Board of Governors' decisions, blaming a congressional mandate for preventing the implementation of modified Saturday delivery, I believe modified 6-day delivery met any congressional requirement. It still appears there are still a number of areas where the Postal Service can find further ways to improve its value to customers and improve its service and cut costs. And I look forward to hearing about these areas. Finally, I'd like to thank the witnesses for taking time to come and testify, and I'll now recognize the ranking member, Mr. Clay, for his opening statement.